Hey everybody, this is Gaynor Meilke with Plan C, and today I want to talk about another set of C's. And I think these are really important things that I've come to realize just over the years that really do keep people stuck. And so the first C is commonality. And although something may be considered standard, normal, or common, doesn't necessarily mean that it should stay that way. So you think about a lot of common myths that are perpetuated, or things that are tolerated that shouldn't be. So I know from my own experience, I have a daughter who has experienced some eating disorders. I've had an eating disorder, and then that is something that really ran in my family. And the commonality there is that, people tend to think that it's just either common that women have eating issues, or B, that it's just something that we need to deal with, and it just goes without saying that you can't really recover from that. And I would say that that is a myth, and it leads to really some terrible outcomes. Same with abuse in relationships. And I know I was told by a divorce lawyer that abuse is just part of being married, and I just don't believe that. So I think that is another myth that's perpetuated, that once you get married, all bets are off in terms of treating somebody well. So I think that is also a real disservice to people, and I think that feeds into something else, which the common path for many people is marriage, and I think that can be great if you've got two respectful people who are committed to that, but it's not necessarily just the thing that has to get done. It doesn't have to be that commonality. So I think that is one C. The other C goes in with that is complacency, and that is, oh, it's always been done this way, so we're just going to keep doing it. Or people who don't want to put the effort into making something better, and I see a lot of that around. I know it's much easier to just go with the status quo than it is to try to change things, but I always say that the pain is the power, and so when things get more painful in the complacency than they are in making change, then that is oftentimes the key that people need to unlock things. So I think complacency is another C that can be really detrimental as well. And then I think another C that we need to think about is, one, change, and how do we do that effectively? And the other is communication. What kind of communication do we need to have with both ourselves and with others? And I also think one final C that deserves some thought when you're talking about alternative plans is also commitment. You can't change if you're not committed to it. And although we live in a very self-gratifying, easy win type of environment right now, the truth is meaningful change, and especially change that has to do with negative behaviors, only comes about when you're committed day after day, moment after moment, to making a difference in your life or somebody else's. And that can be very difficult. So on the top level of a plan C, which is different than plan A or even plan B. I just heard an interview with Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook about her plan B when her husband sadly passed away. She was able to make alternative plans and mindsets in her life, but sometimes even that doesn't work, and so you've got to be willing to go for yet another alternative when there's really um, a place that you want to get to that is going to be better for you. And that does take that final C, which is commitment. So, what we've talked about is commonality and not accepting that just because it's normalized, it means that it's the right thing. B, which is the commonality, complacency, and that is just going with the status quo because it's easier in the moment, and it's not easier in the long term often. So that's something to think about. And then the commitment to changing, which is another C as well, and then communication about that. So we need to find the people who are going to support us on the path of a plan C, and not just watch us really struggle because we're in what people think are no-win situations that we can't change. So that's all I have to say right now. I just wanted to get that out there as you're forging your path to plan C across a bridge to better. And I hope that this has been helpful. Maybe journal about what complacencies you're dealing with, or the common thinking that it's keeping you stuck. And then think about what changes you need to make, how you can communicate to those you care about, and who could help you finally get to a different place that's going to be much better and help you and support that commitment.